So for today, I'm going to remind you how super fast you make a box and whisker, and just like super fast. But this one has the lowest number of 12, and I think the biggest number is 23. Don't count by ones, or you'll have to go 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and it'll take forever. Just count by twos. It won't take that long then. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and that would be enough. Number the beginning, number the end. Start with that. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. You need a number line underneath. Do that right now on your iPad. They call it a box and whisker, but I recommend you just draw one long whisker. And it goes from 12 to 23. See, smallest, biggest. 12 to 23. And then in a minute, we'll put in the box part, the red part. But just make the whisker first. Okay? And then underneath it, write the numbers. This goes from 12 to 23, sorry. There we go. And now we'll put in the box. Well, we got to do some math, though, because I don't know what the edge of the box and this edge of the box is actually at. So I got to look up the Q1 and the Q3. And somewhere in the middle of that-ish, not exactly in the middle, but the median is in the middle of the whole thing, and so somewhere along that line, there's like a median line too. Okay, so moral of the story, we need Q1, we need Q3. Where are we going to get them? From the calculator. So take a second, go to Edit, and put all of these numbers in your calculator. I will race you. Stat, Edit. I haven't even started yet. You're supposed to be faster than old people at things like this, because you were born with technology. Now I'm going to do something a lot of you won't do. I'm going to take just a second to go put all the numbers in and scroll up backwards, and I have 21, and then I have a 20, and then I have a 14 and a 14 and a 16 and an 18 and a 22 and a 23 and a 14 and a 12. Cool. I just took a second and double checked that I typed them all in right, because that will be the most common mistake, is you tried to type 22, but it only like picked up a 2. Something dumb like that, and it'll burn you because you won't notice. All right, so now I'm going to go to Stat, calculate one var stats. Hit Enter a couple times, and I'd like to see that screen, because if you don't know how to get there, then I can tell you haven't been with me and or you're lost. So just so you know you're on the right screen, it should say X bar, which means average, is 17.4. That's how you'll know you're doing it right. Okay, I'm going to make sure everybody's good on the calculator part. All right, so these are not all normal. Which one is the most normal? Pick which one. Which one's got the normal curve to it? It's clearly not the green one because it's not going through the middle. There's the blue one, and there's the red one, and there's the, I'm going to call that tan. So pick between blue, red, or tan. It might be purple, but I think it's blue. But wait, I don't think blue is the most normal one. It's so pointy. So be red. I think it's red. Because it's supposed to look like a bell, not like a mountain peak. Doesn't red kind of look a little bit like a bell? It's called the bell curve. All right. So what would it mean if we had one that was super peaky like this? That means most of the people are squished really close to the normal. That's like me gathering a whole bunch of people with size 9, and maybe a few are a little bigger than 9, and a couple are a little less than 9, but almost everybody's at a 9 shoe. That's what it would look like then. It would be really bunched to the middle.
So it's kind of like having like a full 9 and all the back and tops.
Yep. And there's very few other people. Almost everybody had a size 9 shoe. All right. This is normal, the red one. This green one is way to the left. What the heck is going on with that? Well, what if it was about shoe sizes and I was gathering together all the kids in the school that were shorter than 5 foot? Do you get that their shoe size would commensurately be pretty small? If I was gathering up a team of people and they had to be under 5 feet tall, then it might be skewed over here. So the data can be skewed from normal. Find this slide, it's number 5. I'm going to give you a really simple one. Let's say that you had gathered up and weighed a bunch of squirrels. You can trap them super easy. You live trap the squirrels, you weigh them just to see how big they are. And an average squirrel was like 400 ounces, or let's go with grams, 400 grams. Start with 400 in the middle because that's where the average is. And let's say I said the standard deviation for a squirrel, you could do this. You just have to weigh a bunch of squirrels and you would find out the standard deviation, and let's say it is 10 grams. Then, could you tell me these numbers, those 6 numbers? I gave you the 1. The other 6 are what you'd have to give me on the test. Do you get your just adding 10? Because see, you go out 1 standard deviation, which is 10, and you go to 410, 420. 430, who understood what I was talking about? You had that already. Okay, good. If you didn't understand that, you just add 10 each time, easy. It's the standard deviation. Do I add 10 going this direction? Subtract 10. So this would be 390, 380, 370. Some of the questions are that easy. All right, let's do one more like that. This one's going to be the length of your longest hair. For me, I think my longest hair is probably like 1 inch and probably 2 inches. I know because when I have my hair cut, I always have it go to 1.5 inches. But it's been a while since I've had a haircut, so that's about 2 inches. All right, so for me, that's 2 inches. Does that go right here? No. That's where the average is supposed to go. Do you think I'm average in this room? No way. The longest hair average in the room. Let's say I think, from looking at you guys, it might be on average of about 6 inches. And let's say that I say the standard deviation is 2. Would you just finish the problem? All right, and then the question would be 2 things. Number 1, can you finish the problem, which is super easy. 6 plus 2 is 8, 10, 12. Okay, and then the other thing they can ask you is if I go back this way and I take off 2 and I got 4, 2, and 0. Is there anybody with 0 length hair in the world? Yeah, they just shave their head. Okay, so what if I said, what is the percent of people that is between here and here? Do you remember it? It was on the chart. You're close. Not 95 is one of them, but it's not this one. That's even more. That's if I go to here. That's 99.7. 68, there you go. 68% of people have between 4 and 8 inch. And I was going with your longest hair because it's really hard to tell what your average hair length is. Holy crap, that'd be impossible to figure out. But it wouldn't be too hard to measure your longest hair. 68% of people would be in this zone. Between 4 and 8 inches is their longest hair. If you go all the way out to 0 to 12, then you're talking 99.7%. All right, now here's the hardest kind. Right here, where it says, it's even giving me the numbers already, which is awesome. It wants between 25.4 and 30.2, which is here to here. Well, we don't memorize them from there to there. So we need a special chart, which we will give you. And it looks like this. All right. You know that problem we were just on? I'm going to make numbers kind of like that on this chart. So everybody get to this chart. Trying to make these relevant to you. Let's say you weighed every meal you ate. And you did that for like a month. And you figured out that your average meal weighed 500 grams. Please put a 500 at the top. That was your average meal, weighed 500. What would you need to know to fill out the rest of this chart and answer any questions? Standard deviation. I'll tell you the standard deviation is going to be 20. Then please just answer these. This is 520, this is 540, 560. I know it seems too easy, but just finish it. Just do that for the whole thing. That's step one. And the question, it'll be something like, what percent of meals are between this and this? All right, so here's my question. What percent of your meals were between 500 and 540? We'll give you this chart. What percent of meals, your meals, were between 500 grams and 540 grams? The way I do it is like this. You mean between here and there? Yup. So you just add up those two percentages. Did you get 47.5? Raise your hand if you had 47.5. Okay, awesome. Why isn't it 50%? Well, because we didn't include these two. See? If we'd included those two, it would have been 50%. But it was 47.5 because we were missing some stuff. 47 point. All right. Well, I'll give you one more question like that to make sure you really understand it. What percent of your meals would be between 460 and 540? The way I'd do it is I'd find 460, 540, and I'd just gather them all up like that and go, you mean those guys? And then I would go, oh, wait a minute, I memorized that one. That one's 95% because I memorized that one. Now, could I check it by actually adding them all up? Sure. But guess what's going to add up to 95%? Because I memorized that if you go out 2 standard deviations, It's 95%. Would you agree? 2 standard deviations.
Yeah,
You've seen this before.
I have.
All right.
Very familiar with it.
You guys ever do this stuff in calc? Or is it more
No.
in higher level stuff?
It would be all AP stats to do stuff like that. but
AP
not-
stats. There you go. All right, cool. Okay. You might have Mr. D someday for calculus. All right. And you might be like, that's not next year. No, it's not next year. Next year will be pre-calc. And for some of you, not taking pre-calc next year, you're taking FST.
What's that?
Function, stats, and trig. It's a good get you ready to take pre-calc. Pre-calc is pretty hard. And so unless you're rocking this class with straight A's. Yeah, well, an occasional B is fine, but. All right. So I think you understand it now. I think you do. So let's do the first couple problems. So actually do the first problem of the Schoology quiz. Everybody open the Schoology quiz. I'll do the first one with you. And honestly, I think you could walk out of here today with it done. Just find the Schoology quiz, open it. Now, this is your last test. Don't want to blow your last test right before finals. You know this last test counts the same as the final? Because every test in here counts 100 points. And the final also only counts 100 points. And it's this test way easier than the final. So wouldn't it be nice to pull off a straight A on this one, and that gives you maybe a little more room to pick up only a B on the other one? You don't have to worry about that at all. Some advantages to being a senior. Yes?
Wait, what day is the test?
I'm not positive. I think it's the end of next week. All right. So, you got the Schoology quiz open? Photo, would you read me number 1?
The data for data with median equals 45 and standard deviation.
Ooh, mean 45.
And then standard deviation is
6.8?
3.8.
3.8, thank you.
Find the following values. 3 plus standard deviation is equal to blank. And then -1 standard deviation.
Oh, okay. So it's got one of these chart thingies?
No.
Oh, no chart? It just says to add 1 standard deviation or subtract 1?
Yeah.
All right. I want to make sure you guys get that. In the middle will be 45. And if you go this way, you're adding 1 standard deviation, which would be like adding 3.8. And this way, if you go this way, you're subtracting 1 standard deviation. So apparently it's just telling you to add or subtract 1 standard deviation, which really is just add or subtract 3.8. That's all there is to it. All right. If you get stuck, please come on up and ask me. That's all I got for you for today.